Mark here, Mark in the Pit. Today I'm making spare ribs on the Char-Griller Akorn. Yay! Alright, so I bought a whole side of rib. I got it from Aldi's, which is kind of like a discount food chain in our area. I don't know if you have them or not, but they have, as far as I'm concerned, they have some pretty good rib meat. I buy, I don't know, a couple of packs, and I cut them up into portion sizes that are manageable for me. So yeah, this is what I got. Now, it does have the membrane on it, so we're gonna have to go ahead and remove that. Sometimes, if you're lucky, you can just wedge a butter knife underneath to get it started and then yank it out. But we'll see what happens here. It actually came off pretty easy. I've had harder times taking off condoms. Now we can get some of the seasonings on there, and that membrane won't block it up. I'm gonna start by putting some mustard on, just regular yellow mustard. I don't like anything special. You notice there's a hunk of fat here. I'm gonna leave it. I'm okay with fat. Fat doesn't bother me. Next thing I'm gonna do is put some salt on it, because I like salt. So does my thyroid. Add Byron's butt rub. This is one of my favorite seasonings. I put it on everything I can, and I don't bring the container with me when I'm camping because for some reason everything gets wet, and I don't want to ruin a whole batch of it, so I just kind of brought what I thought I'd use. Now, I don't wrap these, I don't add more seasoning mid-cook, so I just kind of load them up pretty good in the beginning. Just going to kind of pat everything down a little bit. Give it a little spanking. I think we got that about ready to go. Let's go check on the fire. Akorn says it's up to about 250. To me, that means it's probably closer to about 275 in my experience with using this. I've got the heat, I've got the vents set to about, I don't know, 1.5. I'm using hickory today, and it's chips because that's kind of all they had at the store. So the ribs will smell and taste kind of like bacon, which is kind of cool. But when I'm putting chips on, or chunks, usually what I do is I try and spread them out evenly, kind of away from the main fire source, because I don't want them to all burst into flames right away. If you spread them out evenly, then what's going to happen is you're going to get smoke throughout the whole course of your cook. And that's kind of what I want. You know, I don't want to blast a smoke in the beginning with this, and I don't want it to stop smoking halfway through either. Now, there are times when I only want to start smoking in the beginning, or there are only times where I want to smoke at the end, and I'll put the coals in then around that time. Now, if I only wanted coals to start smoking, I don't know, about halfway through, then I'd line the wood chips farther around the outside instead of having them in the center. If I'm making something like a steak, I'll drop the chips on right around the time I put my meat on. So, but yeah, that's kind of what I do. We're going to go ahead and put a plate setter, a dry drip pan, and then the grate. And that's it. Let it warm up a little bit so I'm not putting the rib on a cold grate. All right, give it a second for the grate to warm up. I'm going to go ahead and just plop that right there in the center. I've also got a sweet potato that we're having for dinner with it as well. I just poked that with a knife a couple of times, put some butter in it, wrapped it up twice because the foil's kind of thin. But yeah, I like sweet potatoes. I think they're yam-tastic. This grill's holding a perfect temp at, well, what it says is 250, but it's probably closer to 275, which is right where I want it. It's the first time opening it in about an hour, so let's see what they look like. That's a beautiful start. They look fantastic. I'm going to go ahead and give them a spray with my 50-50. We'll check it out in, I don't know, probably another hour or so. All right, we're about 2 hours in. Let's go ahead and check it out, see how it's doing. Oh man, that's looking good. Potato's getting close. I might yank that here pretty soon. Actually, I think I might yank that potato now and then just put it back on. All right, we're about 3.5 hours in. I actually pulled the sweet potato off and put it back on to warm it back up because I didn't want to just keep cooking it and cooking it after it was done. So let's go ahead and take a look now. All right, so we got a nice bark on the outside of this. Actually looks really nice. Got some bones sticking out there. It feels kind of loose. There we go. I'm just going to let that on there for a little while longer. These look pretty good. Or as my wife likes to say, that looks burnt. They've been in for about, I don't know, 3.5 hours. I raised the temperature a little bit as I went along because I wanted to try and get them done a little sooner because I wanted to eat them faster than they normally take. All right, well, let's open it up and see how they taste. I let it rest a good 10 minutes. That's not nearly long enough. All right. Oh yeah, it's got a nice smoke ring on the outside. I think that looks great. It smells awesome. Still has some chew to it. Not quite fall off the bone. Definitely done. Yeah, these turned out good. I'm digging them. Yeah, these turned out all right. Well, thanks for watching. That's my dog.
I was about to ask you if you were going to record anything and just sit there and eat them.
We're good.